So where do you start? How do you reimagine? How do you reimagine a Range Rover? Where do you start? We started with 30,000 conversations with Range Rover owners, really understanding what they like. They like that you can see the corners in the front. They like the very comfortable drive. They love the off-road capabilities and so much more. We keep all that. We're improving on all of that and adding new technology. And that takes time. 7 million hours of time is what blood, sweat and tears of our engineering teams, our design teams, our manufacturing teams, our operations teams, putting into this vehicle. 7 million hours of blood, sweat and tears for 5 years. And not only that, they spent about 1 million kilometers driving in real world testing to make sure that the quality of the Range Rover goes to a completely new standard. And in addition to that, you bump into so many new things that you're doing, so many new technologies that are included in the car, that we've been able to file hundreds of patents, hundreds already granted, and hundreds more to be granted soon. So there's a lot of unique innovation into this Range Rover. And I'm going to talk to you about a few of these things. The first one is about electrification. The Range Rover, the new Range Rover, will be with a 6-cylinder new plug-in hybrid, which has a range of up to 100 kilometers, purely electric. So in electric mode, you drive for 100 kilometers. That means, according to the data they have from the old Range Rover, that 3 out of 4 journeys will be completely electric, with 0 tailpipe emissions, really in the silent electric mode. 3 out of 4. Actually, I'm also very excited to let you know and to announce that we are going to launch the all-electric, 100% electric Range Rover by 2024. Wow. So, we are focusing on 3 key areas today, and I would like to explain you a few of the stories and the problems that we have solved. The first one is about dynamics, the driving dynamics. The next one is about refinement within the cabin. And the third one is about connected technology, the smart technology in the car. So let's talk about the dynamics first, the driving dynamics. Of course, it's about how a car drives, even over uneven surfaces like potholes or other things. And the other one is about how you go through the bends and the corners. So first of all, talking about the comfort of that drive over potholes and corners. And that is really about a new technology that we invented, which is the twin valve dampers. They used to be single valve dampers on the old Range Rover. Now they're twin valve dampers. And they go for 500 times a second. They measure it and really making sure that they adjust quickly enough to get you this really magic carpet ride. And the other thing is the active body roll systems. So when you go through the corner, that the car doesn't sort of head over. You don't get this head toss at all, but you stay nicely seated. To do that, we have now 2 twin motors on those body roll systems with 1,400 Newton meters. That is twice as much as the previous Range Rover. Really making sure that you get a beautiful, comfortably ride also when you go through the corners. So the driving dynamics really improved. The next thing that we want to talk to you about is about parking. And parking is important because it's a big car. And when you want to park it, it can sometimes be difficult, especially in car parks that even sometimes are dark. And then, you also have this issue once you're in, is that the children, hey, don't put the car door against the car door next, right? And you can't really put that shopping bag into the car. That's really annoying. So how, in a modern luxury strategy, our engineers again thought, how do we solve this issue? They got 3 new technologies. First of all, the new Range Rover is the first all-wheel steering Range Rover. The rear wheel system can go by 7 degrees. That makes sure that you got a turning cycle of less than 11 meters, which is about the turning cycle of a small car. This big car. How amazing is that? The second one is the camera system, right? We got the camera system makes a 360-degree camera all around, but it also has night shift mode. So even in the dark, you can see perfectly all around you. And then, the best one of all is our app. Because what it can do is that, you drive, and before you want to go in, you say, oh, that's a narrow space. You just step out of the car, you put your bags in or your bags out, you put the children in or the children out, whatever you like. You take out your phone, and through the app, the car will park itself perfectly right in the middle of the spot. No stress. Real modern luxury, really solving the issues. Of course, terrain response, the all-terrain response system of the Range Rover is unique to us. It's a really good system, and we know it from the old Range Rover, and of course it will go into the new Range Rover with lots of different improvements. First of all, of course, it allows you to go wherever you want to go off-road, but at the same time, also when you're driving through the rain or other places where the weather is a bit harsh, it really, really helps you to be safe. In addition to that, the new weight program that we have also allows you to really do the settings all by yourself if you are one of those experts, specialist users. But in addition to that, of course, the weight program is very important. The car can go still through 90 centimeters of wading depth. And by the way, therefore, it's all sealed from the water, which means also, by the way, road noise or polluted air cannot come in that way, right? Really a good advantage for when you drive in the city. But also, there is a sonar technology on the front and the sides, which making sure that before you drive into the water, that you don't go over that 90 centimeters and endanger yourself. It's a really good new sonar technology in the new Range Rover, optimizing that all-terrain response system, which Range Rover so well about. So let's talk about refinement. And of course, often the roads are, uneven. There are potholes, or there is other things on the road, and therefore, those vibrations that come into the car, you really notice that, right? Especially when you sit in the back. So our engineers again say, how do we solve that problem? And one of the key things to do is to make sure that the chassis, the solid chassis that is sort of almost out of one piece, is really, really strong. And actually we made it 50% stiffer than the previous Range Rover. And by making it 50% stiffer, also there's 25% less vibrations. And how can we make it stiffer? Is because we're using different materials. It's 80% aluminium, and then high-grade steel and boron materials to create that tough structure. And therefore it looks like it's honed out of one big piece. So that's one part of reducing noise and vibration. But that was not enough. We again looked further, and active noise-cancelling headphones are very much available. And we thought about that technology, and the engineers were brilliant. I have to say, they put 4 microphones in each of the wheel arches that measure the sound of the road, the noise that is there, then translate that into an anti-sound, and then put that anti-sound through the speakers on the side, as well as through speakers in the headrest. Really creating this really lovely, quiet environment where you can have those conversations that are so important in the car. How awesome is that? But that's not enough. We got less sound, we got less vibrations, but the air quality is also super important. You really want to make sure that you stay alert and that the car is a healthy place to be in. And therefore we got a whole set of filters, PM2.5 filters, which are very important. Those are those particle sizes that can go into your bloodstream and the nasty things, as well as PM10, which is the slightly bigger ones. And on top of that, we included 2 ionizers, one in the front and one in the back, really ensuring that you get a very healthy cabin environment, which takes out odors, which takes out bacteria, but even pathogens like the COVID pathogen will be captured by the filters. That is really important. Healthy air, quiet environment, and less vibration. That is refinement. So, talking about technology, of course, a lot of you probably have some sort of voice assistant at home, like Amazon Alexa. We ask Alexa almost anything, so why don't we adapt that also into the car? And this is what you can do in the new Range Rover. It's really beautifully, perfectly integrated into the user interface. And you can ask Alexa the commands to turn up the music or change the song. And we even included the perfect integration of the Spotify app as well. Really, really good. But that's not enough. You can even do it from your home, which is very important, right? So you can be in your home, you sit down, and actually, you know, you can say, can you please, if it's a bit cold outside, can you turn up the heating in my car, Alexa? Alexa, can you turn the lights on? So when you are then going out of your home, you go into the car is fully ready for you. How amazing is that? That all using the Alexa technology. And of course, there is a lot of features on the car. There's a million lines of code in these vehicles nowadays. So how do we optimize that? Is by using over-the-air technology and continuously upgrade the car to the latest software with new features and other things that we have. Always up to date, the new Range Rover. One of the most critical things in the 30,000 conversations that we had was that people said, can we please have a third row? So that we have a proper 7 of us in the new Range Rover. And with one car, we can go to a dinner or a family fest or where you want to go. And that was, you know, how do you keep the design and do that? So we created the extended Range Rover. It's only 20 centimeters longer. But you got a beautiful second row and a fantastic third row as well. Actually, why is it so beautiful in the second row? Because you got 1 meter of legroom. Great for people like me, or even taller people than me. But at the same time, on the third row, you still have 90 centimeters of leg room. Really a proper seat with proper shoulder. You can sit there and still have space and feel spacious as well. On the third row. But again, the engineers thought that's not enough. What else am I going to do? And they made sure that those awkward moments that we sometimes will have when you have to go into a second or especially into a third row is how do you step in and it's all a bit like, you know, can I still do it? Especially when, you know, it's not great. And especially when you're as stiff as me, by the way. So it's incredibly difficult. And so our engineers made the second row go forward and upwards so you got the same space to go into the third row as what you have in the second row. That is very, very cool. So, tailgate parties, we all love them, and we want to sit down onto the tailgate, and more and more. And therefore, our engineers thought about that one more time, and they said, you know what I'm going to do? We're going to make it bear 350 kilos on the tailgate. That's about that's about 3.5 of me. Sorry. It's about 3.5 of me can actually sit on that tailgate. And then also we provided these beautiful cushions that it sit really nicely and a backrest. So you can actually lean as well at the same time and drink your glass of champagne when you go to the races or whatever you want to do. A fantastic tailgate party. That. And again, as you expect from the new Range Rover, this new generation of an icon, we went one step further. Because now, you know, you sit there on the tailgate and you want to change the volume or you want to change the lights. How do you do that? You have to step out and go all the way to the front of the car? No. You can just use your phone and on the app, change the settings really nicely, really easily, really modern luxury all around. So, what a beautiful car. The new Range Rover, you know, when the first time I stepped into it, actually next to an engineer, I got goosebumps over my body. It was so many stories to tell. I can go on all night. But it is a very, very special vehicle. I really hope you are going to enjoy it as much as we do. Really all that detail and refinement in both the design as well as the technology. Really another generation of a real true icon. And to play a little part of that in the journey is extremely exciting. And I'm really, really proud of everybody at JLR to make a car like this. Thank you so much. And Alexa, is there anything else that we should know about the Range Rover?
No, thank you, Leonard. It's time to get the party started.
Thank you very much. And hope you enjoy the car as much as we do. Thank you very much.